Welcome to the Strong Women's Club, episode number 84.
This is the Strong Women's Club, where successful women share their behind-the-scenes stories of how they got to where they are today. Join us.
Hi, everybody. I'm Edie Berg. Thank you so much for joining me today. So today's episode is number 84 of the longer version of the podcast. And next week's episode is number 85. And it's amazing how it works out that way, eh? So for these two episodes, number 84 and 85, I'll be doing solo episodes. So let's see how we go with that. And there are a few reasons for that. One is I like to do them. It's fun. I like to talk into the mic. I like to talk to you guys straight instead of going through, having a guest and which I love also, but I like to be able to talk directly to you. It's very freeing for me. And two, I don't have to worry about getting a guest and having a guest and scheduling. So it makes things a little bit easier for me. So this is also true for the Quickie History podcast, the hashtag SWC. That I don't have live guests that I ask questions there either. In the Quickie podcast, I talk about a strong Jewish woman in history, and it's only 5 minutes long. But it takes me a long time to produce that episode. I do a lot of research, even though it's a very short episode. I try to get the main points about that person into the episode. So I also really enjoy doing those. And even if you hate history, you can probably swallow these podcasts. And you can learn a little bit from them. But I try to make them interesting with sound bites from the past. And it's really fun to hear, I think. So that's number two. Number three is I feel the need to start talking about issues that I'm thinking about and to start teaching. So you probably know that I'm working on a very big leadership conference that I'm producing, and it's coming up at the end of March. It's a ton of work. And in that conference, we're concentrating on leadership, on gender equality, on entrepreneurial skills, and Jewish daily life. So I figure that now is a good idea to start teaching some of those or all of those topics here also. So today I'm kind of taking a cool shortcut, cool for me, that is. So last summer, or rather for the whole second half of last year, I decided it was important to write for large online publications. And I still think that's true. And I'll be going back to that once the summit is over. One of the articles that I wrote at that time was for success.com, and it has been shared on Facebook over 49,000 times, which is really a lot of times. So although I find that really, really rather surprising, I thought I'd take the opportunity to share that article here with you. Now, the article is a listicle, which is an article based on a list, right? So I use that format not because I particularly love it, but because success.com particularly loves it. So the title of the article is 15 Traits of Unabashedly Successful Women. And I'm going to talk about all 15 traits that I wrote, but not all of them today. I'll do half today and half next week. So it won't be too much for you or too much for me, all in one episode. So let's get going. I learned from interviewing super successful women each week for well over a year, and that's where I gathered this information from. It isn't a scientific research article. It's mainly things that I've learned, and now I'm passing on to you, my lovely listeners, who I appreciate so much. So let's go. Number one, unabashedly successful women play to their strengths. So before you can play to your strength, you have to know yourself pretty well, and you have to know actually really well, and accept that you aren't good at everything, but you can be really great at some things. So you should do those things and delegate the rest. For example, you might love to talk on podcasts, but you don't love the social media aspect of running an online business. So get somebody else to do it. They'll thank you for it. They'll do it a lot faster than you, and they'll probably do it better than you. Plus, you'll have more time freed up from not doing what you don't love to dedicate to other tasks that need to be addressed. So that was number one, which was successful women play to their strengths. Number two, they have ambition. Now, these women don't dream about being the best in their section or in their department. Their eyes are set on being the best in the state or in the country, at least. And most actually want to change the world. So think big. Think bigger than. Am I teaching leadership? No. I'm building a movement of career-minded women who want to change the world for themselves and for the following generations. That's what I'm doing. Number three, they stay positive. Successful women, actually, successful people, which includes men, even though I tend to talk about I tend to talk from the standpoint of the woman because that's what I understand the best. But successful women know how to deal with disappointment in a way that keeps them from getting down and staying down. They know that the future is going to be bright for them. And they know it from inside themselves. They don't need constant encouragement from outside sources. So get it into your head and believe it. Keep it there, and you will be a success. I mean, you already are a success, and tomorrow you're going to be even greater and even brighter. Number 4, They are organized. So, okay, I understand that not every person is born organized, but the successful ones behave this way. When I approach them to do the podcast, they either say yes or they say no, but they answer quickly. And if it's a yes, they check their calendars, they book a date, they do the interview. There's not a lot of rescheduling, not a lot of extra emails. They decide what they want to do. They decide when they want to do it, and then they just do it. Simple and organized. No big deal. The number 5 trait of unabashedly successful women, according to Edie Berg, is that they're constantly learning. So these women don't stay static. They are continuously improving themselves. They use mentors. They use coaches to accelerate the improvement. And this is important because just as all the other traits are on this list, but you don't only need to keep up with the game. You need to get ahead of the game, and you might even need to invent the game. But if you stay at the same level, then you really just aren't. You're really going backwards, and backwards is not such a good thing. At every stage of your career, every stage of your life, be sure to be a constant learner. Otherwise life is just too damn boring. And that is a known fact. Number 6, I kind of feel like I'm emceeing The Price is Right or Let's Make a Deal, which would be kind of cool. So number 6 is they have a strong support system. Most of the women who are really successful have a very supportive partner or family member. They know that they have somebody that they can lean on when they need it. So Warren Buffett has said that this was his most important business decision of his whole entire life, was choosing who to marry. So this is not to say, and please don't get angry with me, and I know that there are a lot of fabulous and successful single people. I know it. I do. But that doesn't mean that who you choose to spend most of your life with isn't a very important decision. Because if you get that right, it helps. It just does. You have to admit that that's right? That's true. Number 7, and last for today, just because that's how I've chosen to split 15 into 2, they know that failure and success go together. You know that. What's clever is if you expect it, then you aren't afraid of the failure, right? It takes all this sting out of it, and it will enable you to readjust, regather yourself quickly, get your ducks in a row, as the girls in my mastermind like to say, and go for whatever it is again. Stronger now and better now. So don't be surprised by failure. Be prepared. Think out the possible scenarios, the worst case events. Be ready. Be bummed when it happens, of course, but then move on. And you know that it's a part of success. So those were the first 7 of the 15 traits of unabashedly successful women. And if you want, you can jump ahead of next week and go to success.com where you can read the whole article. You won't find it on my site. The stuff that you write for large publications like this one has to all be original content. So it's not something I republished or anything like that. Or you can just wait for next week's Strong Women's Club podcast episode, which I hope you do. Now I have a request for you. Actually, it's a couple of requests. 1, please go to iTunes now, like right now. Even if you're on the treadmill, then just stop for a second. Turn your run into intervals. Go jump on over to iTunes and leave a nice rating and review. And then while you're there, please just share this episode with 3 of your friends, whoever you think might enjoy it. Only 3. It's not like the whole PTA. It's just copy the link right off of the iTunes page right there and paste it into a WhatsApp group of friends or onto your Facebook page or LinkedIn or wherever and share it. It will be very helpful. It will help the podcast to grow faster. So I really, really appreciate it, truly. Tag me if you want. I'd love to thank you. So that's kind of thanking you for thanking me, but that's okay. It's just nice to be nice to each other. Have a great week, everybody. Let me know if you like these kind of solo episodes. And if you do, that's great. If not, then it's kind of too bad because I'm already doing it for next week. That's what I have planned. Everybody keep on working. Keep being strong. Keep getting stronger. Ciao for now and litrot.